The last time we did a comic pack, it was one of the Tales of the Jedi Dark Lords of the Sith comics. It was this one. And I have another one, but I kind of wanted to do this one first because it has Han and Chewie on the cover. It's got Silver Surfer on the back. And as you can see, it's a super value pack. 10 different comics. Those are Ollie's for $5.99. Okay, let's begin. The first comic we have is Marvel Silver Surfer. He's a pretty cool character. I have a Marvel Legends Silver Surfer action figure. The end of the Unilord saga. This is from 1996, so it might be kind of that older style comic that's really cool. And just keep in mind, in 1996, people weren't talking about Marvel all the time. Spider-Man hadn't come out yet. The only Marvel movies that had come out were like some made-for-TV things. There was a version of Captain America that had J.D. Salinger's son starring in it. There was a version of Doctor Strange that was made for TV. There was another Captain America that had Red Brown. There was a lot of versions of Spider-Man, but this was a long time before we got to where we're at now with the huge popularity of Marvel and the old style on the sort of newsprint pages when the art was really, really good. And it's kind of fun to look back at these old comics and find how the characters used to look. Or in some cases find out that they look exactly the same now. Like they didn't change them at all. What's this? He's big on action. 12-inch Action Man is back. Interesting. I saw a Mego Action Man figure at Bargain Hunt. I don't think he was 12 inches, but Return of Stickly. Ziploc Kids. That looks like Thanos, doesn't it? Is it Thanos? It is Thanos, isn't it? The only Silver Surfer movie we've had is that Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer movie. I think we're due for a good Fantastic Four and maybe a Silver Surfer movie of his own. Butterfinger. Look at the creative art in this. It's almost like Alice in Wonderland. Is that Adam Warlock? I might be mistaken. I'm not sure. Some of you comic experts maybe can chime in on that. So that was a Silver Surfer magazine comic from 1996. The next one is Escape from New York, number 3. And this is a little more recent. It's got an ad for... If it's Homeland and Heroes, then this has been made in the 2000s. But Escape from New York is a cult classic. It was made a long time ago, but it's since become a cult classic. One way you can tell if something's a cult classic is if Funko does action figures for it. I think he plays a character, Kurt Russell is like Snake Plissken or something. And And it's, along with Big Trouble in Little China, a lot of Kurt Russell movies have become cult classics. Artwork's pretty good. Curb Stomp. I like the interesting Hit 1957, a violent piece of 1950s war. I would like to look up that one. That looks interesting. Cool. And there's an ad for Dig, a show I don't remember whatsoever, from the executive producer of Homeland and Heroes. The next comic is New Crusaders, Rise of the Heroes. I have never heard of this. Issue number 3, Variant Edition. This is published by Red Circle Comics. Another indie, looks like. The artwork is kind of simple. Not really my cup of tea. But that's pretty cool. But all in all, I'm not a big fan of the artwork. It's just not my style. It's sort of that Clone Wars kind of style, which I didn't mind so much in Clone Wars, but generally speaking, I part of the pleasure for me of looking through comics, even if I'm not reading them, is just to look at the artwork. And why I do that, because it sort of gives me ideas to do drawings and stuff. At least I will say this, so far I haven't heard of, or I haven't seen any of these comics, so it's always kind of nice when I don't run into duplicates. Or that looks like Wasp a lot, doesn't it? I mean, that really looks like the Wasp. It blew me away. Ain't it cool news? It's like Watchmen, BuzzFeed. Oh, they got some pretty good verbs there. This is Princess, or Princeless Raven, the Pirate Princess. Princeless, I guess. Another one I've never heard of. This is published by Action Lab. I do like the cover. Jedi Academy, so it's got a Star Wars ad on the back, so this can't be that indie. Action Lab, it's family. Sometimes things look indie, but they're kind of still put out by bigger companies to sort of get the indie look. It's kind of like astroturfing, I guess you could say. Instead of grassroots, they, it's. But still, generally speaking, the artwork in this is a lot better than the last one. Kind of like it. It's a period piece, which I like. Seems to have a lot of action. There's an ad for Western Deep. That looks pretty cool. Beyond the Western Deep. And there's another Princeless. There's Arrow Girl, Stray, and Vamplets. I've never really heard of any of these. So that is Princeless Raven, the Pirate Princess. Okay. Next is a thicker one. This is Decoy. This is published by Courtney Huddleston. Is the penciler and the creator. Published by Penny Farthing Press in 1999. And you can already tell it's older because it's got just better artwork. So much. Good way to tell. The older the comic, generally the better the artwork. Not always, but in many cases, like this artwork is just pretty good. I like the paper quality. This comic hasn't been opened in 21 years. You can hear the paper cracking as I turn the pages. It's really good artwork. I really do like it. The Victorian. That looks cool. And then here's some of the, I guess, variant covers, maybe. Next is Hope by Source Point Press. No, it's got Stanley on the back. New Dimension Comics. This is 2019, so this is fairly recent. It's, once again, the artwork is not exactly my cup of tea, but this is a little bit better than the other one I was talking about. At least it does have some sort of a dimension to it. It looks kind of cool. It looks very dramatic so far. It might be a good read. It's got aliens, the Greys. Evil Dead. Oh, that's interesting. What's next? This is the Victorian. Kind of a provocative cover. On the back has sort of what was that game? What's it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. The steampunk game that I keep thinking Fallout, but not Fallout. BioShock. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of BioShock. It's a fold out. I think I've gone through a Victorian before, and I think I enjoyed the little fold out, so I might have to pair it up with the other one. I might have a series going here. Now, that would be cool. And then I could actually start reading something for more than 10 minutes. Like the colorful artwork. I might actually like reading this. It's another period piece. I think I need to get my other Victorian out and keep these two together and maybe try to find the whole rest of the series and give it a good read. Good before bed kind of thing to do, you know. Cool. I like the artwork in the back. Very cool, and I'm excited to say that I have another Victorian, but this is the Victorian Source book. And what did I get last time? I have it right here. The same one. Go figure. No wonder I left it somewhere. Well, anyway, here's the Victorian Source book. And this is, I guess, I'm guessing it's a sort of a guide to the Victorian characters and stuff. Maybe if you haven't been following it, maybe it gives you the info you need or something. I do like the artwork in this a lot. Here I have two of the same one and a source book. This is X Factor. X-Men. This must be a little bit older, 94, 95 flare. Yeah, it's older, but it's printed on slicker paper, which is cool. Advanced D&D. But it's still got the old style artwork. X-Men. Mystique. It's got the characters we know and love. Mystique looks like my action figure. I love that. That's the kind of stuff I really like when I come across like my action figure right here, which is really cool. Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic. It's like the Fantastic Four and the Iron Man. But this is all before the movies came out. And you never see these guys together in the movies. Push your Sega Genesis to the extreme. Look at the old video games. Acclaim's NFL Quarterback Club, Sega's Knuckles Chaotix, which was, I think, a Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off. Knuckles, I think, was a Sonic character, if I remember back then. Is that Sabretooth? I think. Spider-Man. Swinging to McDonald's is made. Look at those. No way. Those were Happy Meal toys. Those are full-on action figures. Happy Meal toys have really, really gone down. Look at these. I mean, these are awesome. I mean, they're just kind of garbage now. Well, what's next? This is Wildcats, convention teams, Jim Lee, Chris Claremont, Image Comics. This is 1994. The artwork in this is really good. That looks like a preview for another comic here. And Star Wars with The Empire is One Step Ahead by Dark Horse. It's an ad on the back for Castellan. Like a card and building game. This is published in 2013. So far, the artwork is exceptional. I like the close up the X-Wing. Very good artwork. Don't these X-Wing fighters make you think of what we saw in The Force Awakens? When did Force Awakens come out? Was it... I guess it might have already come out at this point. Because that really looks a lot like those. They've got the canteen. Awesome. Boba Fett. Bosk. Artwork is fantastic in this. Well, if you want to hang out, I've got one more pack. Make this a little bit of a longer video for those of you having a harder time getting to sleep or whatever, or for those of you who are actually just enjoying it. Now, as I mentioned before, I was excited to get to 2 of these Tales of the Jedi, Dark Lords of the Sith, so I can maybe start looking to collect these. And the story looked really promising. This comic goes back to 1995, so I don't know how hard it would be to find the other ones. Wow, some good artwork in this. That's what I was thinking when I saw the last one. Good quality paper. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, James Bond, Shadow. Have you read a good movie lately? Dark Horse Comics. Yeah, they're doing the comic tie-ins of these movies. The Rocketeer. You know, I still haven't watched The Rocketeer. I need to, because so many people love that movie. Very cool. Ooh, I like the back a lot. I like that. Next is Deathlock Doom. That's Dr. Doom. Deathlock versus Doom. $1.75, so this one goes way back. Yeah, Bill and Ted's Truly Excellent Nintendo Venture game. This goes way back. I would say 1991, yeah. If they were still using that thing that I had when I was a little kid. Doctor Doom. I had a Doctor Doom action figure back in the 80s. They made a little set of Captain America, Doctor Doom, and some of the other characters. Wow, look at this. Train cars like these only come along once every few light years. Star Trek: The Next Generation and classic Star Trek. Wow, I would have loved that set. A whole bunch of Dooms. There's Mr. Fantastic. Traditionally, I think Doctor Doom was the Fantastic Four's biggest adversary, but somehow in the 80s he got paired up in that action figure line with Captain America. But I'm sure they crossed paths too. They're all Marvel. Three Musketeers Adventures. I used to love these things when the candy companies or whatever, or Twinkies or whatever, would make like a little story, their own little comic. I used to really like that. And there's some trading card ads on the back. This is Miss Fury by Dynamite Comics. On the back there's an ad for Battlestar Galactica, so like I said, it can't be too indie. This is from 2014. Artwork so far is so good. Philadelphia Experiment. Oh man, that's an interesting story if you ever get a chance to read about it. They've made a movie about it, but there's what started that whole thing about the Philadelphia Experiment was there was something. The Eldridge was a destroyer, I think, and they did some sort of experiment on it, and it was claimed that they teleported it. And then it was claimed also that when it returned, that several of the sailors on board were sick or injured, or some of them had fallen off during the teleportation and landed in the future. Well, all of this started because this person jotted notes in a physics book that led, and you can actually still find that book with his notes, the photocopies of his notes in it. That's what started the whole rumor. It's quite expensive because it's been out of print for a while, but that's actually what started the whole story, the legend of the Philadelphia Experiment. Apparently they were trying to make an invisibility shield around the Eldridge, and I'm definitely gonna read this comic. And instead, what it did is it teleported the Eldridge, like, through time and through space. I don't believe it, but I don't think it happened, but nonetheless, it's an interesting story. Really good, fun artwork in this. Here's one of the PG-13 parts. Okay, next. Superman Special Edition. This is recent because it's got the new Superman logo on it. And it's also, is this like a free comic day? Yeah. I think I've seen this one before. I think this one is included in a lot of these. It was promoting Man of Steel, I think. On very flimsy free comic book day paper. Okay. Here, finally, another Victorian. Okay, so this is my third Victorian. And I'm curious, it's got the fold out, which is cool. November 22nd, 1963. Kennedy visit. Oh man, I've got to start reading this. This is about the Kennedy assassination. Wow. Okay. I've really got to set this one aside and start reading this. If you watch my videos, you know that's one topic that I really study and research a lot. I've gone to Dealey Plaza in Dallas, and I've been to the 6th floor museum. Met some quirky people in Dealey Plaza. But I do find the topic to be very fascinating. Yeah, I'm definitely going to set these Victorians aside and try to start reading these. These just look really cool. This is Zindra. Courtney Huddleston again. How about that? 2001. Good artwork. Creative artwork. Really, really creative. Wow. Just interesting looking. Some of the concept art. Interesting. Next is Fracture. Return of the Hero by Action Lab. On the back, just more Action Lab. This is published in 2013. Artwork is kind of meh. It's not too bad. It's not the worst I've seen. It seems to be very lavender, very pinkish. Like there seems to be an overarching pink tone to this whole comic. I'm sure that's by design. Okay. That was Fracture. Next is a Valiant comic, and it's Valiant Reader. Put out in 1993, 75 cents. One of the older ones. I don't recognize any of the characters on it. It's got an intro. It's got like a little chart explaining the characters. This is kind of cool if you wanted to get into this comic. You got the perfect intro right here. Harbinger. I've heard of that. I've heard of Harbinger. Hardcore. I've heard. So some of these I've heard of. Shadow. Solar Man of the Atom. Kind of reminds me of Dr. Manhattan. Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. So this is basically like a guidebook of all their different properties, I guess. And it shows all of their comic lines. Oh, that's cool. So this is just the Valiant Reader. Well, that's kind of cool. What do we have here? This is Nosferatu, Plague of Terror, 1 of 4. Got one of these on the back. These crop circle circular mazes that we see everywhere. This doesn't have a date yet. Interesting. I don't see a date anywhere on it. Very, very. It's in black and white. The artwork is pretty decent. The lettering is really good. Like when they're back in the Middle Ages, the lettering is sort of a script. And this is obviously Nosferatu that we all know and love from the silent movie, which you can find very easily if you're interested in watching it. Whether you want to, it's public domain, so now you can find it with all kinds of different soundtracks. That's a screenshot from it, which is probably the best part of this comic right here, is the screenshot right here of Nosferatu from the silent film, and you can watch it on the internet for free, or you can buy a DVD or Blu-ray of it with any number of different background music. And finally, we have a Battlestar Galactica, The Final Five by Dynamite. This is the new Battlestar Galactica show, not the one that I watched when I was a kid. The one I haven't really watched, my brother likes it. He tells me to watch it. I need to probably look into it. Good artwork. It so far doesn't make me think of Battlestar Galactica from what I remember at all. I don't see a Battlestar, or, well, I guess there's some Vipers and some Cylons. Yeah, that's Battlestar Galactica. Galactica 1980 was actually a show. It was when they tried to reboot the series with a much lower budget. It didn't work out so well, but I remember watching it when it came out. And there's some shots from the movie. There's Zorro comic, The Boys, Stormfront Super Nazi versus the Boys. Tulsa Dune. And there's all the other comics. So it looks kind of cool. Okay. Wow, 40-something minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. And please rate, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll be back for more. And It's a lot going on in the world and the country. It's, we're living through crazy times, so I hope watching some of these videos helps a little bit. Anyway, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.